Thanks, Gary. Where's Gary? What did he do? Swift exit. Good morning, Toronto. How are we? That was my line, man. I was gonna do the Good Morning Toronto thing. Good morning, Toronto. How do you do? What is this thing? It was totally fine. I was gonna raise it. I'm tall. It's the wrong. There you go. You figure I know how to use one of these by now. Who's first time? Welcome, guys. Who's been here more than 10 times? I love it. Have y'all all seen the season 11 premiere? Don't say anything, I haven't seen it yet. Oh, dude, they're gonna be spoilers. We're gonna talk about it. Just let me know. What'd you think? It's good to be back, right? The wait and the build-up is almost as bad for us as it probably is for you guys. We're sort of like waiting and figuring out what we can and can't talk about. Seeing the little, well, not figuring out what we can and can't talk about. Being told daily what we can't talk about. We're not allowed to talk about, not allowed to release. We get this massive, like before Comic-Con, before the big stage talk, we get this massive, like, a DNR list, a do not reveal list. And it used to be pretty kind of low-key, like, don't reveal that the big blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, keep your damn mouth shut. Yeah. Don't talk about anything. Don't look guilty. The first rule of Supernatural is you do not talk about Supernatural. It's the weirdest. And so we're sitting there going like, at least this year we had Rob and Richard to kind of do the da-da-da-da-da-da. And they're like, look over here. Pay no attention to the two other guys. This year was like, can we mention that they're brothers? Like Sam and Dean are related?
Nope,
is that...
nope, don't talk about the brothers.
No, we're not sure. Yeah, I tell you what. I see a wedding headdress. What is that? Oh God, I was... It's your wife! Nice to see you, Beck. I didn't know if you had maybe just been married and were wearing it. It's sort of really cool lit from where I stand. Nice to see you, Becky. You didn't get the annulment papers?
And still wearing the dress. Normally you take that off after your wedding day.
I have my dress on underneath.
Or normally he takes it off for it. Never mind.
That's a
spoiler alert.
That's one of the do not reveals, actually. All right, before we jibber and jabber, let's get to some questions. I'm sure you guys are waiting. Way over there, Castiel. I see that outfit. Misha? Misha, you dyed your hair.
And
barely.
You shrunk.
Barely.
But your voice got deeper.
Okay. Hi.
Kidding.
My friend Grace says hi too. She wasn't able to come. She got sick.
To who?
My friend Grace.
Hi, Grace.
She says hi back.
That was quick. Somewhere Grace is like brushing her teeth, like, hi, Jared.
Hi. My question is, I had to write this short story for my journalism class, and I was hoping that you guys would give me the plot, ideas, and I will write down whatever you tell me.
Jensen?
It's turned into a creative writing class, of which I failed miserably. So don't take any ideas from me.
How about this? You write it, and we'll turn it into a script.
That's just a program.
We're talking monkeys, not writing monkeys. I'm just kidding. So what are the guidelines?
What are the parameters?
There aren't any.
Come on now.
Keep it PG, maybe.
Well, there goes my idea.
And that was?
Let us swim in our head, and we'll get back to you. I'll think of something.
Okay. Should I sit down? Or?
Yes. Yeah, Grace is telling you to sit down.
Thank you. I love you guys. You're amazing.
Bye, Grace. Yes, I'll go with that.
Yeah, hi, Jensen. How you doing? Nice to see you.
Hi, morning, Jensen, as well.
Hi.
So, I flew all the way from Malaysia, so it's really an honor to see you guys. And before I ask my question, I just wanted to say it does my heart good to see you well, Jared, and thank you so much for your always keep fighting campaign. And
Couldn't do it alone.
yes, so thank you very much for that. And I also wanted to thank Jensen for being such a great friend to you and to all of us. Yes, because he's been really great, to continue like working at conventions, like even without you, when you weren't well. So thank you for being
Well, that's
such a
what
great
family
friend.
does.
I wanted to thank you so much, Jared and Jensen, for bringing so much light and joy into the world by sharing your talent and your beauty and your heroism. So thank you very much.
I think she was talking to me more. You're welcome.
Thank you for noticing. No, thank you very much.
She's saying to bring that light, and literally all I can see are like these three like headlights shining right at my face, and I'm like, that's not me. The light. That's
We're under arrest.
well. Thank you, and thank you for traveling.
Yeah, thanks for the big flight.
And thank you for those of you who did travel the distances that you did. So, I know there were some long flights involved in getting here. So thank you for being here. Did you have a question?
Yes. So my question is, where on a movie where on a TV series where brotherhood and love is such a huge theme. Why do you think it is that Sam hasn't had a romance in 10 years, whereas Dean has cornered the market? Because he's had best buds in Benny and Cass and even Crowley.
Because Dean's a whore. And I'm okay with that.
Without giving away too much, Sam gets a friend this year. And
It's stuffed, but
it's my blankie. No, that's a really good question. I've often wondered, like you said, we get to learn about so I think story-wise, I think the reason Dean has had so many other sort of tertiary characters like Castiel or Benny or whatnot is because we learn more about Sam from Sam than we do Dean from Dean. Dean is a lot more kind of private than Sam is, so we see Sam in other situations and we learn about him in the scenes, but Dean is more kind of, there's a bigger wall up, and so we have to learn about him in other ways. So they had to kind of get creative with their writing. But we'll learn some about Sam this year. We're going to see a buddy of his.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was good.
that was good.
Jensen?
How about right here? It's okay, I'll repeat it.
It's a great question.
How many, she asked in the upcoming episode, Baby, how many Impalas were used?
Yeah, and did you have to make a special one
And did we have to make a special one for certain shots? Yes, we did have to, we had several. I think there were 6 in total. Now, not that there were like 6 fully functional operating vehicles, there were probably only 3 working vehicles, and then 3, they would call them insert cars. So, like there's one that's just a shell of an Impala that they can get the camera into the trunk, and they can get, they can shoot around in it. So, I don't even think there's not an engine or anything in it.
Roofless. They can take the roof off.
The roof can get removed. One of them, they had to take the roof off. So there's insert cars, I guess. They're not really cars though. They don't have engines. Some they have wheels. And then there's the hero. That's number 1. There's the stunt car. That's number 2. And then there's number 3, and that one's. We generally use number 3 if there are noise concerns about shooting in a neighborhood, because number 1 is really loud. that's our fault because we.
Number 3 is what we use for things like, so number 1 was driving. Y'all saw the preview with Sam running after and shooting through the window. Like that would be number 3, right? Because number 1 needs to be kind of ready at all times to be run.
Yeah, we're
to
never
be
gonna bust
used.
up number 1.
Yeah,
that
if something-
one always stays pristine.
Yeah, if it needs to be driven. And also it was such a kind of Impala-centric episode that we also had splinter units that were filming the Impala driving with photo doubles, right? With stunties or photo doubles, because it was such a jam-packed episode with Jensen and myself that they had to get certain shots of the Impala driving around, and so that had to be kind of like up near Whistler, right? Or where did they shoot?
Yeah, so they'd probably take the stunt car, and then they would get drive-bys with my stunt double driving and his stunt double running shotgun. But most of the time, if we're in the car and it's operating, it's either 1 or 3, and that's so that. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
And we would go from Impala to Impala sometimes. So, like the one we talked about, that's just the shell.
Oh, yeah.
We would do stuff that we were driving and then have to get carted really quickly, thank you, Cliff, to the one without a roof, right? So to kind of do all these different shots.
Or what about so we have, one day we didn't really need one to be somewhere else, so we actually had 1 and 3 on set, and they rigged up number 1 for like my coverage, and then while we were shooting that, while we were driving and getting that footage, they were rigging up number 3 for his, so we pulled back into the parking lot, hopped out, hopped into number 3, went back to 1s.
For daylight concerns.
Yeah, so we were running and gunning pretty, I'm really excited about that episode.
It was a heck of an undertaking.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, right there. Or, I don't know.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Hi.
I'm good. First of all, I just wanted to thank you both for being here. I know how grueling your schedules are, and you both have such beautiful families with young kids, so it's really hard for you to be here as much as you are, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
My question is for both of you. I was just wondering, over the years, is there a specific scene that has been really like emotionally grueling for you? That a scene that really stands out that was just,
There have been many emotionally grueling days.
Every day. A few stick out to me. A few where sort of Jared Padalecki, the professional actor, kind of got lost in maybe Sam Winchester. And that's almost a bad thing. Like you want to be. There's a story when I did the Christmas movie with Peter O'Toole. It happened in that movie as well, where sort of my emotions got taken over, even if they called cut. And he kind of called me over, and we walked to the side, and he said, and I was playing a character named Tom, and he said, "Save those. Those are Tom's tears, not yours." And I was like, "That's awesome."
Easy for you to say, Peter.
No, but here's from one of the greatest actors of all time, right? So there's honor in the craft as well, and I think we're both actors that try to find a reality in our character, but I still love the craft of acting, right, and trying to tell a story. The most recent I can think of is Sacrifice, kind of got a hold of me. Heart, the big scene of Heart and Sacrifice, and then the one in Croatoan, like way back when. The scene where I think Sam is talking to Dean, telling him to kind of leave, right, let him go. I think those 3 kind of stick out as they really got a hold of me for whatever reason.
Yeah, there's a couple that have certainly were tough to get over. One in particular was when Dean came back from hell and was telling Sam about his experience in hell. And it wasn't. I don't think I intended it to be that emotional, but whatever. You just gotta, the wave came and I hopped on. But when when the director, it was Jay Miller Tobin who was directing that episode, when he yelled cut, you can emotionally, or you can mentally stop thinking about the things that are making you emotional, but you can't turn that emotion off because your body thinks it's real. Your brain knows it's not real, but your body is reacting as though it is. And I had to just take a walk down the road a half a mile just to walk it off. So that one certainly was an eye opener.
That was season 4, right?
I think so.
Was it 4? Was that the same episode?
Season 4, episode 10.
Thank you.
9 or 10.
You're hired.
Done.
That what also was the episode where we had probably the most bizarre, funny scene of all time in a big barn dinner theater. That was the original Supernatural dinner theater.
Yes, that was.
So you know the big massive showdown in the barn in that same episode where it's like Ruby Alistair and Sam and Dean and Castiel and the demon goons. That was such a big scene. I think it was shot over like 2 days, and one of the stunt guys who had been killed in the scene, I think like he'd been killed on day 1 of shooting it. So day 2 he had to come in just to be a dead body in the background. And we're shooting, and all of a sudden we hear. Is that dead demon snoring? And he kind of.
Yes, he was.
And he woke himself up with snoring, and his reaction was like this. He was sort of like. He just kind of laughed at the fact he had fallen asleep. And also, there was a big wide shot, like we call our master shot, our wide. You know, it'd be the whole scene. You see where Sam and Dean are and Cass is. And so, usually that's only used at the beginning of the scene. And then you start going into characters. But there were so many characters in different parts of the barn that we had to kind of run the wide shot for a while. But there was no way to run it properly because there were like visual effects. And so, there's a part where like a knife disappears. And so our prop girl is like, and on camera, like sneaking in.
Yeah, everybody goes pause, everybody just freezes. And she just runs in, grabs the knife, runs like, and action! And we start moving again. And then somebody kick him.
And then there was like an angel explosion, I think. So Jensen and I had to like guard our face, but they weren't cueing us when to stop guarding our face. So remember one time I was like, and I looked over and Jensen still has eyes closed, so I was like, okay.
Not that fast, too. Oh, we're still doing this? Yeah.
They called cut, and we were like, that is the worst acting we've ever done on Supernatural.
It was not acting at all.
I'm so
We
sad.
were just strictly there trying to figure out what the hell we were doing.
Man, I'm so sad it wasn't printed. That I would watch that over.
It probably was. It's probably somewhere.
There's bound to be some dailies of it. We'll have to have them publish those dailies.
That one's a good one.
Yeah,
Just real quick, I would say that another one aside from that one that still that I remember very clearly is sitting next to Dead Sam on the bed. And I told Kim Manners, who directed that episode, I went up to his office after I read that scene, and I was like, hey man, what are you thinking? How are you wanting to shoot this? Because I don't know how many takes I'm going to be able to give you. And so he's like, okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get 2 cameras, and I'll just have them floating. I'm going to black out the whole scenes, the whole set, so that you're not disturbed and we can, get into that headspace. He's like, I'm going to do it once, 1 pass wider, and then I'm going to flip the lens and go tighter and do 2 passes, 3 at the most. And I'm like, perfect, I can give you that. And so that's what we did. And that was, I think it was only 2 takes for that whole scene. So that was good.
Thank you so much.
that was actually stressful for me as Dead Sam.
Oh yeah, he had the hardest job because he couldn't breathe.
I was trying to be respectful to my fellow actor, right, and not be like snoring.
It is. Yeah, I'm sure I put you asleep a couple times. It is incredibly difficult to keep your eyes closed as though you're passed out or you're dead and have them not flicker when you know the camera's on you. When the camera's not on you, totally fine. You can do it, it's easy, but as soon as you know that everybody's staring at you
And you're trying to be really still.
and you're trying to not move, it's virtually impossible. I hate it.
I challenge all of them.
Okay, calm down. Yes,
I think this is gonna be a fight.
I think so.
So we saw in season 10 a reverse crypt scene with Dean and Cass, and Dean could have easily killed Cass just out of anger and rage. What made you what do you think Dean was thinking in order not to kill Cass?
Then Misha's got a contract.
Dean was thinking I wouldn't have any more days off if.
Yes. Yeah, I can't give Jensen any more days off if I kill Cass. I don't know.
That was partially the struggle with Dean trying to overcome the mark, right? Were you trying to?
Yeah, I mean that kind of goes into the battle that he was having with himself. It was probably less about the relationship with Cass and more about the the struggle that he was having internally. You know, I think that because of the history that he has with Cass, that was making it that much more difficult. But that scene was really about the internal struggle that Dean was having throughout that whole season almost. So yeah, I don't think it was any one particular thing. Like, I'm gonna miss his face, although I don't think I would. Kidding. We love Misha and whatever he plays on the show. But I think it was more about the internal struggle of Dean. So
I'm remiss that we never had the scene where maybe, I guess it would have had to be Crowley, where Crowley's like, Kane, Dean, Kane.
and together you are a Superman. We've been working on that for like months. And you don't worry,
story.
We'll continue it until it gets a laugh. All right, right here. Oh wait, she's gonna give you a mic. Look at this.
Okay.
Everyone can hear you.
First of all, I want to say this is my first convention, and I came by myself from Buffalo, and
You're not alone.
Thank you. And I was so scared, but everyone, like, I posted on fan sites, and they were like, "Oh my God, you gotta come. We'll walk with you to your hotel. We'll sit with you when you're like nervous," because I have really bad anxiety. And I think, like, I always heard that the fans were like a family, and like now I feel it. And it's
I actually have chills right now. Sorry.
so do I. And it has been like the most incredible experience of my life.
I love that.
So thank you for that. And then I think we learned that from like watching you two and the way you act with each other and with the cast. And like even during like karaoke, everyone was just like, you could just see and feel like the love, and like I think I cried the entire convention.
You're welcome.
Good tears, good tears. But my question is kind of what you were talking about earlier about like the death scenes, and like what is harder to do, like playing the character, like emotionally, playing the character who is dead, or the one who's like reacting to their death? Because obviously Sam and Dean die kind of a lot. So like,
Yeah.
does it get any easier? Like, what's harder emotionally, acting wise?
Emotionally, I don't think either is necessarily hard emotionally. That's the problem, is that I don't think it's difficult for, first and foremost, thank you. That's
thank
such
you.
a cool story.
And
thank
we're
the
very
family.
happy you're here.
Yeah.
I'm really happy I'm here too. It all came together in 2 weeks, so like I had no time at all to prepare.
So cool. For me, it's more difficult to do lighthearted Sam stuff, like funny Sam stuff, because I think Sam is such a kind of ethereal sort of thinking man that I don't think obviously Dean's got the kind of swashbuckling sense of humor. So funny episodes are more difficult for Jared to shoot, even though I'm kind of a goofy guy and love funny stuff. But the emotional bit, it's not difficult for me to find it or get there. I don't think it's difficult for Jensen either. It's more that you can't really fake it. There's a great book called, is it Blink? By Malcolm Gladwell, and they did a test on people where they had them hold a pencil in their mouth and watch like a cartoon or something. And so they had them hold it like this for one time, where they kind of are smiling, and then they had them hold it like this, where it kind of put their face into a frown position, and then they asked them questions afterwards. They had a couple different groups, and the people who had the frown position of the pencil, like by and large, had a worse experience of watching the cartoon, which is another way of saying, if you're crying, even as a character, Jared's still crying, you know? Jensen's still crying. So my body doesn't know, like, hey, just acting, you know? So your emotions kind of go to a place where it's like you've been crying for a day. It's like you've lost a friend or a family member. So that sucks. But it's not difficult with the writing. I know Sam enough to know how to get there, and our writers know Jared and Sam enough to help me get there. So it's not difficult. It's kind of more difficult to hold your breath and pretend to be there.
I think I probably have a little different experience just because of the character, but like he said, you know, we've been doing this for a while. We know the characters pretty well, and to get to an emotional state is something that has gotten not easier, but it's just we're able to control that a little bit better as you know as the show has continued. I always prefer doing the more comedic stuff. We just had an episode that Mr. Spate directed, and I'm here to tell you that he did not crap the bed. He did a good job. He's, you know, I won't tell him this, but I'm excited to see how it all comes together. But it was a very comedic episode, and I love that stuff, and I think you guys do. I think do too. I think that there is I think it's one of the great things about this show is the juxtaposition between the really heavy dramatic and scary stuff and the light comedic stuff. And so whenever we get an opportunity to really kind of bite down on that comedy, I always love to kind of go for it. There's a saying we have on set that there's no joke too cheap. So we try to adhere to that.
In JTC. Sorry.
Let's have a fella right here in the black shirt.
Good show. Right on. She
Thank
loves
you.
you. I like you as a friend.
I'll take that.
The question I had, it's kind of a funny little thing. When you rushed back to Harville's Roadhouse to get some information, you found it burnt to the ground. And you were looking for Ellen or... That's the point. When you found the wrist with the burnt body,
Yeah.
the recognizable watch, did you realize when you said it, oh, Ash? I laughed.
Oh yeah. No joke too cheap. Yeah, no, we that was it. And again, this goes back to the.
I never thought about that.
Oh really?
Well, you probably don't watch the show as much as everybody else.
Yeah. This goes back to the sick and twisted mind of Eric Kripke, and I believe it was. I believe it was his line, and that's just him being, you know, twisting his mustache in the writing room. And of course, I read it, and then I put two and two together when I got on set, and I'm like, oh, that's sick. But so good. I'm glad you got that, because not a lot of people did. That was, yeah, good.
That's great. I see a sea of hands and 3 lights. Sure. Yes. Yes. She's just yes. Yes.
Where's
my light?
Me?
Howdy.
Hi.
So the girl from Buffalo, please come find me. I want to be friends because I'm
Buffalo
from there
friend.
too.
Buffalo friends.
So seriously, come find me. Yeah, find the annoying wooer.
Friend
Alright?
connection. Love it.
So howdy guys.
Hi.
So my question is that since the show's been on for so long, if you could go back and fix any continuity error or plot hole, which one would you do?
Leviathans. I'd just fix the whole thing. Be like, nope, they never came.
I think I'm one of like 2 people then that actually like them.
Well,
Yeah,
I will
too.
say that I think Dick Roman was great. What's that? Yeah.
I guess Dick Roman is kind of like an Ash thing, huh?
Are you kidding me?
I just thought.
It was like 2 years of dick jokes.
I just started watching it on Netflix. Give me a chance, man.
I can't help you. Yes, though I appreciated Dick Roman and all of the many jokes that character was able to give us throughout the 2 years that they were a problem. It wasn't my favorite situation, or my favorite monster situation. Now that's not really a loophole. That's just, you know, my opinion. I still think that there were some really good episodes through those seasons, and I think there were some great performances given
one of my
by a lot of people.
Death's Door was one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's amazing episodes. But you know, it wasn't over the course of 10 years. It wasn't my favorite.
Were
loophole-wise.
there loopholes? 'Cause
Yes.
we've done which ones?
So many.
Yes.
Well, when you went,
But we do so many things, right? Like we die and come back, right? Isn't that kind of a loophole?
I was gonna say, well, two of my favorites three of my favorites that I would love to try to fix would be Adam.
Sick of hearing about this Adam fella.
It's like also Jesse, the little kid.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when Sam went through purgatory to go get Bobby from hell, you literally left the door to hell open. Quite literally, Bobby.
Oops. I'm pretty sure a strong wind shut the door.
I was gassy that day.
Yeah. Oh, I left the door open. You said it. I just. Well, look. I know that they're.
You mean that Adam's in the cage, or do you mean about the brother thing?
The brother thing. Like.
Well, that wasn't really a loophole.
Like, well, because
Daddy was.
It's like you guys never.
Dick
Daddy was promiscuous.
It's like, yeah, you guys have had the time to.
You caught that. Thank you.
Well, let's just say yes. Look, over the course of 10 years, there are going to be some.
11.
We haven't done 11. We've done
10 and a half. 10.5.
We haven't even done 10 and a half. We've done like 10 and a quarter.
10.45. 10.45.
I round down.
What do you round down to 5?
That's not rounding. Adam had just, in fact, the episode that we are filming currently, right now.
Yes, we.
Adam, the subject of Adam
Comes up.
gets brought up.
Yeah. What was the other one? Jesse. That was the
The Antichrist kid.
Antichrist. I thought that. Oh, that's a good question too, man. I'll have to come back.
Well, listen, give us another 11 years, we'll figure out that. All right, they're pulling us off stage now. Yes, she came over twice. Adam's been over once. They're literally gonna get a hook and yank us off.
I see someone jumping. You're jumping right there.
Okay,
You have to
quickly.
jump. Yes.
Like favorite color.
Okay, so I saw this thing on Facebook where it said if Sam and Dean were wearing iron rings, they could punch ghosts. Would you consider doing that?
Iron what?
Iron rings to punch ghosts.
Iron rings.
That's a damn good idea. It's gonna be like Chris Angel.
We're stealing that.
Glad we got around to that. It's gonna save the whole fire poker thing.
Absolutely. And like life vests, but filled with salt, and you just go.
And of course, the bungee. Throw the gun, it comes back.